Welcome back to Valenwood as we return for our second ModCon. This year we are proud to show that we've started with high quality foliage production, and our concept art team has created detailed and inspirational image references for region specific foliage. In addition to this, our 3D foliage artist is currently establishing a pipeline for vegetation creation, featuring open source and free software such as Blender and Treat, as well as utilizing industry standard tools such as Substance Designer and SpeedTree. For texture creation, we pay close attention to real-life references. Together with the created concepts, we are aiming to achieve a high level of realism combined with fantasy elements the Elder Scrolls universe is known for. Now let's take a deep dive into what we are currently working on. With regards to the foliage pipeline, we are currently using Substance Designer, which enables us to create a wide range of leaves and plant textures, which gives us maximum control with how we generate them, as you can see. After setting up all parameters accordingly, the leaves can be modified in the procedural way, which allows us to create precisely what we are looking for. The software packages Treat, Blender, as well as SpeedTree are used to create the plant models. The process is tailored so someone with limited knowledge about Substance Designer is still capable of creating fully customizable textures without the use of other more expensive software. Here you can see a test plant which has been created to verify the foliage pipeline and to identify any blockers or errors we might encounter. Our goal, as mentioned, is pushing the quality bar of what is possible. These examples are only test models and mark just the beginning of what is going to be designed. This will eventually allow us to create all the amazing plants which have been conceptualized, and allows us to achieve our goal of creating dense and natural looking biomes and forests Valenwood is known for. Here is an example of the software Treat, which is similar software to SpeedTree. With Treat, we can render and visualize the trees that we create along with most other plants. As you can see demonstrated here, this is an example of a plant that we've been working on, which is a teak tree. The model created is highly detailed, and already you can see wind animations and can rotate light around it. This program works in a procedural way, so whenever you want to increase the dimensions of the trunk, the project adapts and adjusts. You can see how easily we can change the aesthetic of the tree, and from here we can make some adjustments by hand in Blender. From a single leaf to an entire branch cluster, or even taking them out completely and moving them around, bending them to our personal preference. This leaves us with the desired result, and once again a complete preview of what we can expect once transferred to the Creation Kit engine. With our next prepared example, we once again go to Blender and more vegetation that we can play around with. Here we have a humble banana plant that we are using as a test asset. We can use this to help develop our foliage pipeline and verify what adjustments are needed. Usually, we aim to create at least 3 different versions, such as large, medium, or small, and sometimes even more if needed. This helps our environment artists to find a home for these assets much more easily and create the desired biomes. This system is incredibly versatile and allows us to move plants around or create another one and move it here and there or slightly rotate it. Then we can use a small one like so, and as you can see, we can already play around with it and create a clustering effect with these plants and easily create entire biomes with them. This demonstrates the full control we have as we develop the verdant terrain of Valenwood right down to the smallest leaf, like this one. We can easily bend it around with what's known as soft selection, so that when we select certain areas of it, we can lower, raise, and bend it around with ease. Having this level of control is incredibly powerful. Next, we look at our texture atlas, and so far with our friend the banana plant, we are trying to put as much detail as possible, whilst creating as many different leaves as we can so the finished article looks as natural as possible. But this is only the start. In the end, we will probably have between 8 and 12 different leaves to work from, and this allows us to assemble a realistic model. And when we take a look at the references that have been collected by taking real-life photos in high quality, we can build our textures to be as realistic as possible. Another plant that we are currently working on, a palm tree, is a more complex creation which uses a partially different pipeline. Here you can see the plant and the spline and how it works within this app. Again, we can move it down, rotate it, once again demonstrating our full control over the asset. Then, in Substance Painter, we can bake our texture maps and add some edge highlights, such as some moss growing in the crevices. Using this method allows us to build realistic, high-fidelity assets. Despite this being a work in progress, you can clearly see the potential. The most important thing to us is that the plants look as organic as possible, and to achieve a natural look and feel of a plant that looks less like an artificial creation. It is of the utmost importance to understand how a plant grows and how the realistic mechanics of nature come to pass. Here you can see we've introduced some decaying leaves, but they are not just hanging straight down, they are folding around the branch in a natural way. In terms of the texture atlas that we've created, it also helps a lot to push realism when adding decay. You can see some leaves are cut off, some leaves are split with deep cuts, and even the greener leaves have slight colour differences to make it as natural looking as possible. We have built this natural world production pipeline to ease the work demands of creating a region of Tamriel that is like no other, but there is still much work to do to bring Valenwood's biomes to life. If you are a 3D artist, an implementer, or concept artist specializing in environmental art, we would love to hear from you as your skills will help bring our vision to fruition. But before we let you go, it would be remiss if we left you thinking that we had only been focusing on Valenwood's verdant surroundings. Though landscaping is of a high priority, we also have been busy doing other important tasks. Last year, we revealed part of our armor sets to much celebration and excitement to all of you in the Skyrim modding community. And in the last year, our 3D team has completed a number of weapon sets that we are excited to share with you now. First of all, we have the amazing and fearsome looking Chitin sets, which truly captured Valenwood's natural and organic heritage in a fearsome and formidable fashion. Desirable in design and devastating in use, they are sure to create fear in any soul foolish to approach you with menace in mind. And alongside those are the otherworldly insect resin weapon sets, unlike anything else in Tamriel. These almost alien devices of pain will weaken the knees of any opponent who dares to take up arms against you in combat. Everyone here at the Valenwood team are very proud to bring you both these weapon sets, and we thank you for taking the time to watch this year's presentation. Enjoy the rest of Creation ModCon 2023.